A little bit of a late start today, but I've been kind of working. I wanted to really incorporate more of YouTube streaming, and God bless YouTube, they just have made it to where they don't want people using YouTube Live at all. YouTube doesn't. Nobody else. It's just like, it's so aggravating. But I want chat like in its own like program. Now, there's already like a really good program called StreamerBot that I've been using. Shout out Nutty. He designed this, which is great. But I kind of want something for like my other systems that aren't necessarily my production machine. And I want to tie into this pretty easily. Now, he does have like a HTTP server I might use, but I kind of want like a Chatterino type situation, but for YouTube chat. And this will probably require an API key. So I was looking up the live streaming APIs, which are just terrible. And I was like, all right, let me see what I can do. And also I've been kind of trying to tie in a few more things into the stream to make it more professional. I know, we're gonna get there eventually. I've only been streaming for 5 years ish. Yeah, about 5 years. I want to say it was around 2020 when I did my first live stream, something like that. I don't know, but on and off in the past 5 years. But I really was like, man, I really want to take it to that next level. But without making like a whole bunch of crap. I hate clutter. So that's kind of important in that regard. Yeah. Yes, I know a lot of big streamers have janky setups, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. Just because others have jank doesn't mean you should. And, you know, I really want, like, even major programmers don't do that. Like, I would say, like, the gold standard for most science, technology, programming streams would probably be Primogen, I think. And he does a lot of green screen work, which is cool. Very, like, I think Dr. Disrespect kind of pioneered that, and then Primogen kind of made it into the technology field. I like the green screen effects, and I definitely will add more of that. But I just kind of wanted to kind of clean up certain parts of the stream. And then like when I'm pulling in chat and other things, I just like, this is great right here. Chatterino's pretty good for Twitch. I just kind of want like a Chatterino that does YouTube as well. Because I absolutely despise, oh God, and I got to tell you guys something more. I'll wait till more people get here, but oh geez. I am a little ashamed, but I also, oh God, I fell down the AI rabbit hole. And I love to bash AI, but man, some things I'm just like, that's kind of nice. And I don't even want to show anybody because it's so shameful. But I'll show you. And so anyways, I kind of wanted to do like a secondary application to go with Chatterino, to where you'd have YouTube and Chatterino. We still separate them because there's multi-stream stuff that can combine them. I just hate all hosted stuff. I want to self-host everything, and that's why like I gave a big shout out to like StreamerBot. I love StreamerBot by Nutty, dude. What a Chad! Oh, such a good like tool for all streamers to use. So I don't use any hosted web programs. One, I don't trust them. Two, I think they're kind of inconsistent. And three, eventually they're going to go to like some kind of shady, hey, give us $5 a month kind of BS, because everyone does. It's just the nature of the beast. It's what the world we live in. There are no free lunches. Phoenix is like, get out of here. I'm out. I'm going to a different stream. Screw you, Titus. Not for the last time. Oh, God. Phoenix has taken a beating over the years, hasn't he? From me. I love you, Phoenix. You're great, man. Oh, but anyways. Oh! Big news. I got my first stream sponsored. Ish. I got a drink company coming in. They agreed to send me some free product. It's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really fun. I said no overlays, nothing like that. I'm not doing that. But I'm gonna have a good time with that one. I don't know if they realize what they signed on for, but they're gonna figure out pretty quick. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. That's all I gotta say. Let's go. Free drinks for chat. Yes. Yes. So we'll see how that goes. There was also no, it's not G Fuel. It's up there with that though. It's pretty much as cringe. God, what was it? Oh, Jay's 2 Cents made a video. I don't know if you all saw this, but it was kind of cool. I saw. Oh no, you're not supposed to see that yet. Let's go over to YouTube. I've been just getting blown up on this because I made a comment. Jay's trying out Linux,
so it's been
gaming
a couple
on
weeks
Linux.
Since we did our
and it's going pretty well for him. Windows overwrote the bootloader and completely wiped it out. So the title's pretty accurate. But yeah, I got the top comment though. Look at that. I said I would never condone pirating Windows. However, in an unrelated event, I have to take a trip to the graveyard where there are many mass graves. Oh wait, no, I'm not the top comment. One of the top. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, Windows broke. Update broke his bootloader. Poor guy. Just, you know, anytime you go to Linux, there's just a learning curve there. Jay's a smart guy though. He'll figure it out. I absolutely love that. And there's a lot of drama behind G Fuel, its owners. Hard to be just as cringe. Okay, yeah. I was talking to I guess it was the owner of the company. So, I don't know. We'll see. They do a lot of stream sponsorships. So, I'm like, hey, let's give it a shot. Rogue Energy is the name. It seemed up there with G Fuel. I don't follow a lot of that stuff. I was just like, send me the product. Let's see how it tastes. So, there we go. We'll see how it goes. Anywho. I don't know how it tastes. I've never had it. I was like, just send me the strawberry flavor, I guess. I'm thinking it's probably going to be too sugary for me, but heck. We'll give it a see. Better than water? We'll see. Still got to get your water in, though. I've had Windows support agents run Massgrave on my system without telling me what they were doing. If their support use it in such a way, why can't we use it without telling them? I don't think Windows really cares too much these days. It's just don't advertise it is the big thing. They don't want to lose money on the normies out there. So that's it. That's entirely possible, bud. It's entirely possible. Oh, no. No. Windows 10 LTS. Oh, they got sued. Did you guys see Microsoft getting sued for Windows 10? Okay, the other thing I meant to tell everyone. I was, like, testing out old Grok. The Grokster. Yeah, I'm late to the party there. So far, not impressed. But I'm going to keep giving it a whirl. I don't know. I think there's certain things I'm like, it could be okay. But I'm like, so far I haven't seen anything. There's no like integration from the CLI. That's the thing I hate. Like the cool thing I love about Claude 4 is usually my go-to, is the Claude code is freaking phenomenal. Oh my god. Chef's kiss for Anthropic in Claude code. So, I don't know. But I was giving that a whirl. I was like, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Windows 10 LTS. Oh, yeah. Let me look that up real fast before I forget. Windows 10 sued for EOL. Forbes article. Sure, let's go with it. Are they going to block us? I feel like there's going to be a pop-up blocker. All right. Let's go. So just happened this week. I don't know. Did anybody see this? They got sued for killing Windows 10. All users must act now. Well, God bless. It's pretty bad when like I remember Forbes. I remember going in the grocery store and seeing Forbes on the shelf. Like, their headlines are worse than YouTube titles now. Have we gotten stupider as a society? Just shower thoughts. I think so. In some respects, for sure. I think we've definitely gotten just a lot more manipulative. Sensational. I don't know. Sorry. Let's move on. Positivity. We're going to be positive. Positive, Chris. Positive, not negative. All right, moving on. Idiocracy comes to mind. Mike Judge didn't know he was making a documentary. All right. Hey, actually, Mike Judge put that like 200 years in the future, not 20 years in the future. Little did he know. He was right about everything, just his time frame was off. All right. Microsoft knows millions of users will buy new devices and pay for extended support. Never pay for extended support, guys. Good thing about this, if you didn't know, we mentioned Massgrave, which that's like a activation script. No, I'm not going to show you how to use it. Yes, I would get completely banned and thrown into the abyss if I did show you that. But you can Google it or have AI probably explain it to you. if you're incapable of using Google. But anyways, don't use DuckDuckGo. That's owned by Microsoft because DuckDuckGo uses Bing, which Bing's owned by Microsoft, so Microsoft will block the search, so you probably are better off using Google. Anyway, I digress. Don't get extended support for any of this crap. Just switch to LTSC. Activate LTSC, boom, you're on Windows 10 till 2030 and beyond, okay? I think it's 2032 is the last Windows 10 version. So if you want to hang out on Windows 10 for the next 7 years, you totally can. So, one, this lawsuit's whatever, made by normies, I get it. And yeah, they did say Windows 10 will be the last version of Windows, and then they lied about that. But that's just what companies do. They lie to you. I'm not like, none of this is surprising to me. Just, if you love Windows 10, LTSC is what you should use, but I digress. Moving on. When Windows 10 goes end of life in October, a new lawsuit alleges these users, it claims, will be a heightened risk of cyber attack and other data security incident, a reality of which Microsoft is well aware. The lawsuit, filed in California by Lawrence Klein, the owner of 2 Windows 10 laptops. Wow, 2. Set to become obsolete in 8 weeks, seeks an injunction relief requiring Microsoft to continue providing support for Windows 10 without additional fees or conditions until the number of devices running the operating systems falls below a reasonable threshold. Really? I hate to take Microsoft on this issue, but it definitely seems like it's a skill issue, doesn't it? I'm sorry, it seems like a skill issue. I don't think this is a Microsoft issue. I think it's a skill issue. Anyways, let's continue on. Klein says Microsoft decided to kill the older OS. Windows 10 users represent more than half of the Windows market share. Has referenced over 240 million PCs that cannot update, forcing users to buy new devices capable of running Windows 11 or pay unacceptable sums for extenders. I think I even added this to the toolbox, but you just add a couple registry keys and then boom, you can upgrade to Windows 11. If you want to go from Windows 10 to Windows 11, you absolutely can. Windows 11, you will see a drop of about 5 to 10% in performance. But I think Microsoft's removing most of the blocks. Originally, you couldn't upgrade Gen 1 and Gen 2 of the Ryzen chips, but you can bypass all this stuff. So by default, they did kind of force it, but there's workarounds for all that. So I'm kind of like, yeah, skill issue. Again, another skill issue. One, not understanding that there's LTSC. Two, not understanding, yes, you can bypass and upgrade these to Windows 11. But anyways, let's continue on. I'm sorry, I just, poof. Putting upgraded costs aside, which you don't need to do, the security risks are clear. Microsoft's long-term business strategy, client says, will have an effect in jeopardizing data security, not only of Microsoft's customer, but also the person who will not or may not use Microsoft's products at all. Are they talking about Linux users? Because they're not. If anything, your data is much more secure. But anyways, Windows 10 users can now extend support by paying between $30 and $60 or by free, subject to certain parameters. I've never even looked at extended support plans. It always seemed like a scam. But okay. Arguably, a better solution would be extend Windows 10 support for free. Well, sure, I guess. Man, I don't know. There's very few things I take Microsoft's side on, but this is probably one where I'm just like, dude, Windows 10 is 10 years old at this point. Get over it, dude. It's been this way forever. Like, just move. Switch to Linux. Get a Mac. Do the registry hacks, upgrade to Windows 11, wipe it out, install LTSC, and then just crack it. I mean, there's a lot of options you can take for free here. Or you could spend thousands of dollars to file a lawsuit for a 10-year-old product you want to have support for free. Okay. God, we have gotten stupider. Okay. This approach, the lawsuit says, is an inevitable effect of decreasing trade in generative AI products of Microsoft's competitors, increasing the barriers of entry of generative AI market, and dampening innovation and customer choice. What? You know, they added Copilot to Windows 10 and shit too, right? Like, where's this coming from? I feel like this is just someone that's gone and done brain rot forever, just scrolling and going, I'm gonna sue him. God, I can't believe I'm defending Microsoft. What is wrong with me? But still, this is just, ugh. Klein wants Windows 10 to be supported until less than 10% of the Windows user base. What? If this was the case, we'd still be supporting Windows 7. What an idiot. That means more than 600 million more PCs upgraded to Windows 11. This will take considerable amount of time. Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, the heightened risks of attack will keep Windows 10 because you can't or won't update, and you have to extend support before the deadline. I have approached Microsoft for any response to the lawsuit. Yes. What is this lawsuit? And why am I defending Microsoft of all people? But for real, this is so crazy. Like, it's obviously nobody that's used a damn computer in the last 20 years. Like, there is no surprises here. Like, nothing that has happened hasn't already happened like the last 6 times Microsoft's done this. Like, come on now. Think back to like Windows 95 to Windows 98 SE. Like, everyone upgraded from 95 to 98 SE, and 95 was essentially defunct in 2000. That's 5 years. That's 5 years. Nobody was using Windows 95 5 years later. Damn near. Everyone was either doing 98 SE or 2000 workstation. And then there's some poor saps that got stuck on ME. But this was 5 years. So we've had 10 years of support of Windows 10. Double of that. Like, what are we doing? And then you have the jump from the 98 SE 2000 era to XP, which we all know. And then XP was supported, man, a long time. I remember in the early 2010s still having some clients that supported XP and it going EOL, and we got around that by switching the license for Windows XP. At the time, they had something called a point of sale edition of Windows XP, and that point of sale edition of Windows XP had support up until 2015, damn near 15 years after Windows XP initially hit the market. So, like, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It just, I look at articles like this and I'm just like, I don't know. We've gotten stupid. There's just crazy. Like, yeah, companies like Microsoft are bad, but come on now. We need to make some better choices. I think at this point, bro, you switch to a different operating system, or I don't know, switch to an LTSC version. I mean, he doesn't even know what that is. He probably doesn't even realize that's a thing. It's wild. It's wild. It should be broken up. Yeah, well, they did lose the antitrust. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, Microsoft lost the antitrust suit back in, what was it, 1999? And that was supposedly just for bundling Internet Explorer into Windows. That's what they got sued for, and they ended up losing that case because it was considered a monopoly, and they're supposed to break up the Internet Explorer and Microsoft side of things to make two separate companies. Even though they lost the antitrust suit, they got it appealed and overturned like a couple years later, and then it never actually happened, and essentially they just paid their way out of it, I think. And now, God, you see what big companies are doing now, and it makes that like, wait, they were going to get broken up for that? Way back in the day? Look what the companies are doing today. It's insane. Like, you don't even own shit that you buy. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's crazy. Oh my God, Copilot. You know, if Copilot didn't suck as bad as it does, that was the other thing. Like, that was unhinged on the lawsuit. Like, this is how I was like, okay, the person's just suffering from brain rot. Like, this whole sentence right here. Let's just highlight this. Inevitable effect of decreasing trade in generative AI products of Microsoft's competitors. Increasing the barriers of entry in the generative AI market and dampening innovation and customer choice. Did he have ChatGPT write this? Because what the fuck is he talking about? That is so crazy. Like, what? Copilot sucks at everything that's generative. I haven't seen Microsoft produce jack in this thing. Like, everyone does generative AI better. No one's using it for generative AI. They're not a market leader. I don't even think they're in the running. I mean, maybe if you rope in some OpenAI crap that was created, sure. But I don't know. I don't know there. Is there a cheat sheet gaming? I would just pull up config.h from DWM, and then you can see like all of the different ones. So, ooh. I would just pull this in, and then config.h. So if you look at this, you can see the mod key, which this is always going to be like the Windows key, and then R is going to be the launcher command. Mod key plus control in R is going to be Proton restart. This is like a custom one. I was having issues in some games, so I created a custom restart script. Frankly, I don't even really use that much anymore. Mod key X is the terminal command. This probably should be enter. That's like a more standard hotkey, but yeah, these are the hotkeys to spawn everything and kind of what each one does. You can look through now that you understand kind of how to read it. You can add and change this to your heart's content. And these are just commands that get issued when these hotkeys are pressed. So, pretty straightforward. I really like how Omarchy does it. And I wish I did something like this, but I doubt I'll go back and do it. How they do their hotkeys is they just have this, and you can actually, it's a nice search. It's kind of the way to go. I wonder, do I have like a... Huh. Still am not able to build that. Oh well. TPM2 isn't supported on millions of computers. Knowing something can't update, it will either be e-waste or get hacked. Well, TPM2 can just be bypassed on Windows. There's a reg edit for that. Here, let's ask Grok. It's my new... I'm trying to use it instead of Jippity. I thought that got patched out. No, I'm pretty sure. I think it's under lab config. Nope, Grok's failing. Oh, all right. Well, never mind. To chat Jippity we go. Let's try it. What is the reg edit for TPM2 bypass to upgrade Win 10 to Win 11? Most setup. That was it. And then you just do this. Boom. You're good to go. I think we added this to the toolbox. Did we not? God bless. I can't remember. Mistral. I tried Mistral. It was not bad. Chat GPT Titus Tech. Hey, I get it, Rux. I get that 100%. I mainly just is like, let's give it a whirl, see how it is. I don't follow politics at all, and I'm just like, let's see what truly is the experience with no bias. And I can tell you definitive, right now Grok's it's suffering pretty bad. It's pretty much shit. So a lot of it's hype. It's crazy how much most of these models get hyped up, and I'll switch between them all. My favorite's Claude 4. Anthropic does it better than anybody for anything code related by a mile. In every metric, every single real world scenario, everything I've tried, Claude 4 wins by like a landslide. So code related, Claude 4 every time. For just general purpose writing and basic tasks, Jippity probably is my go-to for that, or Copilot. You know, I think it doesn't really matter too much. For these tasks, I'm like, hell, let's just try whatever. I wanted to slip in Grok just to see, hey, where is this thing at? Because everyone always talks it up really big whenever the new model drops, but then I was like, it's been a month. Let me pull it up and see how it is. Obviously not great. I think it's like suffering pretty bad on the back end. I don't know what people are doing, but every time I use it, it's really slow, and the answers it gives are not great. So, you know, Jippity I think is pretty much ahead. So I put it Grok at the very bottom, probably Jippity above it, and then Claude at the very top. A lot of the open source models that you can run local, whether it's Olama or Mistral, that's also sufficient. You could toss that, kind of lump that in with Grok. You know, it's probably in the same realm. I'm not comfortable buying a lot of the secondhand market of like the GPUs and other crap and building something local here, because I just don't know how good these models will be in the future, and everything's moving so fast. I don't want to waste thousands of dollars on something that might just be obsolete tomorrow. So I'm just kind of waiting for it to kind of settle. We'll see when we hit the top here. Eventually we're going to get to the top of the hype cycle. We'll figure out exactly where we're going with the whole AI and everything, and then we'll see how it goes. The AUR is down. Bro. I blame DHH. Oh, Marky's so popular, he's crashed the AUR. AUR's had a rough week. The AUR's had a lot of bad weeks here lately. Lot of problems. Actually, GitHub's had issues this past week too. We've had 2 failures live on stream. So it's kind of like, hey. Oh, I always forget about Gemini. How's Gemini? Do I need to add that in too? Yeah, you had the malware AUR. You had the AR crashing about 2 or 3 times now on stream, where we just became unresponsive or became just slow as all get out. Slow as molasses. Whoosh, dredging along. I don't know. And that's kind of why, like, I run everything local here. Not that I'm better at security or whatnot. People, obviously, I've doxed myself several times. But, I don't know. When I'm referencing everything and it's local, I don't have to rely on the internet, and things just typically work pretty good. So I'm like, screw it. T3 chat now is so cheap. Yeah. Theo, did everybody see Theo ran that back today? The Jippity 5? Like, he was glazing Chippity 5 pretty good. Let's check that out real fast. He was glazing it pretty hard. Let's go Theo T3. There it is, yeah. So let's just go. You can see the timeline here. He's like, so I've had GPT-5 for a bit now, and he's like, it's amazing. Everything's so fast, and it works great. And that was 6 days ago, and then it went live. And yeah, so he did like these 2 hype videos for GPT-5, and then today he came out and he's like, never mind. The public version of GPT-5 really sucks, and I don't know what they're doing, but it was essentially...
Yeah, well,
that's what happened. I was like, oh, poor Theo, man. That sucks. I'm sure what he got was pretty good. But, yeah. Not the case. Because I think what he got is he got before everyone was able to hit it, and he was able to get all of the, fast response. Everything's great. And then as soon as, how I imagine what they did probably was, their new GPT-5 is probably pretty good, but as it got way overloaded, they probably started downgrading all their requests and throwing it into like a cheaper model or a non-expensive model, and then going through. I'll have to wait for his full response, and I need to watch this video, but it's 31 minutes long, and I just like, I haven't had time. But essentially, that's probably the too long to watch of it. It's kind of funny. Gaming, thanks for the Prime. Oh, man. Yeah, you can definitely tell he had a different model. And I totally think that's what happened. On Windows 10, EOL only nerds will find workarounds. Most people are not computer people. That's true. I'd take this a little bit further, Phoenix, when it comes to normal people. If you're not a computer person, which is fine. A lot of people aren't. Most people don't even use computers anymore. Like, I remember the era of the desktop computer when everyone had a desktop computer. Most people, they just have their phone and that's all they got. Maybe a work laptop, but that's usually controlled by IT departments, and they don't even worry about that. So the era of people owning their own computers is pretty much over. You just got your iOS or Android phone, and that's what everybody does. We're living in 1984 right now. Scary times. I know. I would too, Dan. I agree. For us computer people, this just seems completely crazy, but we got to remember, this is what normal people experience. Most normal people don't have a computer, or that's like a computer that hasn't even been turned on in months, is what most normal people experience. That's the standard, because they might work on a computer at their job, but when they go home, their residential time's not sitting on a computer. Whereas computer people, all of our free time's on a computer. Like, I have to force myself out to go outside and touch grass, so to speak, you know? I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the gym. I gotta go do these other things. Otherwise, I'll just sit on the computer. If I'm just sitting at home, I'm not watching TV. I can't tell you the last TV show I watched in its entirety. I don't really do anything other than be on the computer. I log off of streaming, whether it's programming, whether it's making a YouTube video, whatever. And guess what? I'm still on the computer doing other crap. I live on the computer, but I am an outlier. And if you kind of are like me, realize you are also a minority. You're an outlier as well. Most normal people, that's not there. Not there. But it also is probably why I'm a bit of an introvert. I have had people like, hey, why aren't you at this convention? And I'm like, how do I say I don't like people? It doesn't really make any sense. I have a lot of these people I talk to, and I'm pretty decent at talking to people, but like actually being in a big mass of people is like my nightmare. Like, I just don't like it. I don't mind. I can go talk in front of thousands of people, but I don't like being in a crowd. Does that make any sense? That seems weird, but I can speak very well in front of a bunch of people. I just don't like being in a crowd of people. I don't know. I'm damaged. You know, that's just how it goes. Looking back to it, would you still choose sysadmin as a career, or would you go into programming? God, it's hard to say. Outplayed. This is a good question. I talked about this a little bit on stream a couple days ago, and when I was young, you know, in my teens, early 20s, I really was good at C++, and I understood programming at a pretty high level. I don't understand programming at a high level now. I can look at code, I can kind of understand it, but I don't understand it, and I can't write it nearly as well as I used to 20-something years ago. I lost it because I didn't use it, so I lost it. Now, revisiting it, I'm trying to get back into it. It's frustrating, and I'm just very much like a normal person trying to walk again for the first time after not walking for 20 years. And it's a very interesting experience to be on the flip side of that, where before it came very easy to me in my younger years, and now it's much more difficult. If I continued on with my programming in my 20s, I don't know what my career would look like. So what ended up happening was I took a different path, and I switched to sysadmin, or essentially like rack and stack, traditional support, and more from a high level. I was already building and maintaining and setting up businesses in my 20s. Probably around 20, how old would I have been? Probably about 22, 23. And then I stopped programming around that time. Still did a lot of scripting and other things that you do in system setup work, but not actual programming or building programs. And I didn't incur any debt. So I built out and I figured out pretty quick, employers will hire you if you get certifications. And you have to have some kind of higher education, right? To get your foot in the door. That's what higher education's for. Doesn't necessarily mean a college diploma, but higher education of some sort. So I figured out real quick, hey, I can take tests, and I'm really good at taking tests. That's like a superpower of mine. I can just read a book, absorb the information, and then go take the test. It doesn't give you experience doing that thing, and that's what you call like a paper tiger, but I was very, very good at taking tests. And then I could shadow, and I had a couple people that I went behind. And, you know, a good friend of mine, shout out Mike Medeiros, he was like, hey, come on with me. We'll go drinking afterwards, but I need to set up this business first. So he took me on a couple, like, ride-alongs, essentially. And I was able to help him set up, I think at the time, it was like a Server 2000 business. And we were setting up, I think XP just came out. and we were setting up workstations, and I helped him do that. And he's like, okay, we're going to set up the domain controller now. And he showed me the initial setup. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was able to correlate some of that, and I was working for essentially for free for that part of that deal, but only for like a couple weeks. And then at my job, he's like, all right, cool, now you kind of understand that, go get this certification, and then you can move into like the business realm of things. I was like, great. So I just went, took the certification after about 3 days, got my cert, and then I think the cert tests only cost like $125 back then. They're probably more expensive now. And once I got that, I got the experience. And then after setting up, 50 something businesses, I was actually build up a good network of people that I met through those. And then the rest is history. Essentially I was able to jump from job to job to job. And I have a lot of people I can call these days if I was looking for work outside of what social media is. Hell, social media just opened me up to a whole different market of possible employers. So it's weird because I didn't incur any cost, and I made a pretty good amount of money, especially for back then. I think I was already around $40,000 or $50,000 per year in my low 20s with no education, no formal education, with no debt. And then I ballooned up to about $80,000 by the end of the decade. So by 2010, I was closing on about 80,000, and around 2013, that price went up to about 90,000 as I split my time, and I actually worked for two businesses, one as an engineer 3 days a week, and then 2 days as an IT manager. So I had 2 different jobs, but both paid me differently. And then I left that to go at my highest point as essentially a director type position, but also still very hands-on as I was building everything in the data center. And that was at my peak, probably about 145,000 with 10% KPI bonuses. So if I had all my key performance indicators, I'd get 10% of that, which is essentially about 15,000 on top of the 145. So about 160 is where I topped out with no college. And that was 35 years old. So that was pretty good. And that obviously would probably be more today with inflation and shit. I don't know. I don't make probably nearly that now. But if I was a programmer, what would it have looked like? I was in Kansas City at the time when I was doing this. Job market was crap. I wasn't really even able to find much work, and I didn't have any prospects in the education field. Like I wouldn't gone to any college that's reputable. And college you go to not necessarily for the education piece, you go for the networking. People, that's what you get. Hopefully you get into a boys club somewhere at a nice college, and then you get referred. That's why you go to college. You don't go necessarily for the education. Unless you're going to as a doctor, an engineer, something like that, then yeah, that's true. But anything else, it's more about meeting people and then connecting. Just a very expensive way of doing it if you don't come from money. So, laying out all that, I would say no, I don't regret it. I wish I continued programming on the side and building out my own things. But as far as looking back, I wished I continued developing my programming skill set alongside of the path I took. I think at the time in my 20s, I think I was pretty irresponsible. I liked drinking. I liked going out and having fun. And I liked gaming a bunch. So no, it's not like that's wrong. I mean, shoot, I think you should have fun in your 20s, and I definitely did. But I lost something along the way, and I think programming was the casualty there. And I don't necessarily, I wish I just kind of dedicated at least 10 hours a week to kind of maintain what I had, and then maybe build on that as well. So that's the only thing I'd probably change. But as far as changing my whole career and all that, it worked out pretty well for me. I can't really say anything. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard it's a nightmare right now. I've heard so many crazy things. I think it's shifting. I think my daughter asked me about this the other day, and she's a teenager now, and she's like, Dad, what does it look like now to go get a job? I don't know if I necessarily liked my answer I gave. I said, essentially, you can probably get a job working for a company, but you're probably going to need to leave that company every 3 to 4 years and job hop to get a substantial pay increase. Traditionally, in the 2010s, you just didn't want to stay loyal to a company unless it was like more of a smaller business and they were treating you right. But most bigger companies would usually give you raises between 3 and 5% per year if you're an outstanding performer. And that's just not a whole lot. It barely keeps up with inflation. So then to beat that, you need to kind of job hopscotch a little bit. My journey was a little bit different than this, but traditionally that's how you do it. So that's kind of what I said. And I think that a lot of other people really, to make it and really thrive in today's market, entrepreneurship is another avenue for some. If you have the aptitude for it, that's great, but that's not everybody. And that can be very difficult. And obviously much, much less tried and true. So it's kind of like a windy road right now for a lot of folks, and especially in this job market. You can't trust big companies. They're just there to screw you over. You're just another 0 and a 1 on a balance sheet somewhere. So there's no loyalty anymore. And nor should there be.
Yeah,
it's just different. It's just different.
The dude abides.
Coco, thank you for the sub, man. We're gonna dev. Yeah, let's stop yapping. I think we were talking about this, and I was like, hey, we need to build this up. God bless. You get me chatting about crap, and then I'm just like, what's going on? All right. Well, I like it too, man. I like it too.
The dude abides.
I will say it's just one of the most fun things about this. Like, it's never lost on me. Like, this is great. Don't ever let any content creator ever tell you they don't have the best job in the world. Because God bless, I love just bullshitting with y'all and then going and making something and doing. This is amazing. Like, don't ever get it mixed up. Don't ever let any streamer tell you, I got the hardest job. No, you don't. This is the easiest job ever. And I'm so fortunate. So thank you, everyone that's watched. Because I've had it on the other end. I've been stuck in the data center where I'm sitting there not sleeping and just living there for days on end with no end in sight, just stressed out. I'm about to take my 15th crap of the day because just nerves are all rattled around in my belly and I just don't know if I'm able to make it up or not. And, you know, that's a terrible feeling. And you make some money doing that, for sure, but God bless, I think back to the stress and everything. And now, doing this, there is no stress at all. I'm sure I'm going to say something stupid and someone will say something in thing, but I'm just like, whatever. Sorry if I offended you there, but let's move on past it. And then that's it. And I have certain criteria that just kind of keeps me out of trouble, you know? Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about certain things. And then don't talk about religion. Politics and religion. Just don't talk about that. You'll be good. What could happen? I'll take the occasional L. But, I mean, that happens. You're not going to be right all the time. And just accept when you're wrong. Say, sorry, that was a bad take. I mean, you guys remember when I said the Steam Deck was going to suck, right? That was probably my worst take I've ever had. I still hate that take. Man, I was so wrong. But you just take the L. You say, well, learned my lesson there. Let's go on. All right. Came home and your son asked why you're angry. Yeah, my wife is in chat. I was just hangry all the time when I was at that job. Oh my gosh. Dude, this is real though. Like if you have, if you're ever backed up, just get a job in infrastructure for a big company and then wait for the infrastructure to go down. It will solve all your intestinal issues right away because you will be so stressed out that you're taking a crap every hour. That's so true. Oh, man. Any news on Mac Utils? Oh, crap. I forgot to tell you guys while I was at work yesterday. We did some Mac Utils. There is a new version I released yesterday. Boom. There it is, yesterday. I did some work on Mac Util to clean up disk access issues, so it should properly prompt for disk access. I removed some redundant code. There's a bunch of nested if statements that the AI tossed in there. I cleaned that up and made it look like a program that wasn't made by AI. And then I also did a deep flag on the code signing. So hopefully it launches a little bit better. After I did this, I realized, oh crap, on my Mac I had the system protection integration, SPI or whatever the hell Mac calls it, turned off or slightly modified. So I re-enabled that. If this version still has problems and people are having trouble running it from terminal, now you still have to do, let me modify this actually, now that we're saying this. Let's copy that, go back. All right. So I still want to change how it does the terminal side of things, but I essentially what I wanted to do with MacUtil is really kind of understand how Mac packages and also authenticates and checks for different malicious things and make sure that we're doing everything to the standard so it can just easily launch and then do modifications. So definitely some progress here, but this is going to be an iterative thing to where we have to continually go back through, kind of tweak, and I'll get it to a spot where it's really solid. I think the next version is going to be better because SPI is enabled 100% now. So on my next build, probably should be even better. Now, I'd still notarize this as well after doing the code signing. So we code signed it, it's notarized, everything should be executable, but we'll have to just wait and see how well it does. But yep, we're still working on it. So try it out. Let me know what's wrong with it. It's still not, this is going to be an ongoing thing. Like this is only 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old, about a month. In comparison, like WinUtil's, geez, what, 5 years old now? And then LinUtil's a little over a year now. And it's more about the iterations and then cleaning code, making it real succinct and concise, and just kind of cleaning it and making it run well. And that's, it just happens. It's not necessary. The thing I love about AI and what people miss about vibe coding is it's great for the ideation phase. It's fantastic for that. Like you can spit out slop, but you can spit out something into a kind of a working product so fast. And then you go, yeah, this sucks. But there's some good stuff I want to grab from this. And then you kind of sit there and you can iterate upon that and then learn from it really quickly. And I think that's the best part about it. But the thing is, where people screw up is they think they can just vibe code their way to polish. Polish doesn't happen with vibe coding. At least I haven't seen it been able to do that. Maybe if you know exactly what you're looking at and you prompt and say, hey, remove these nested statements and kind of really clean up the code. But I mean, even still, you really need to understand or at least look at the code and kind of clean it up and remove the redundancy. Because every time I've ever vibe coded something, there's a ton of redundant code. Typically, it loves the hell out of nested statements. It nests so deep in so many ways. Like I've seen it, I think in this Mac util it nested, it was like 5 nested. So it went 5 levels down. I mean, it was an inception. I was like, dude, what the hell? Let's use like a switch statement. Let's clean this up. Let's do some calls. Let's make it so we're not nesting that much. That's stupid. So anyways, I digress. Much cleaner and just an iterative process. But thank you for letting me know. Also, the Discord server, I did change that too, where it's now just blanket. We're just going to do a blanket Discord, CTT Discord server. I feel like most of the audience has changed from the last couple years when I tried to do it for the Linux community. It got kind of weird. The Linux community is kind of funky. You know, there's a lot of voices and it gets overly political one way or another usually. And I'm just like, I'm shutting it down. But it seems like the programming community is just much better. So I kind of just wanted to go, here's all the projects Discord for those that want to program and do the projects. It seems much better. So I think it will just do the CTT community server there specifically for all the utility projects. And I think that's good. Yeah. Neckbeards are a weird thing. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Rux said something. Rux. No. Rux. There we go. Oh, no. Okay, I never got a clear answer on this. Oh, come on. Gosh, darn it, Chatterino. Or actually, I think it's more Omarky thing. We're just going to get it. 1 second. We're going to get it. Networking has never not been important. It's just as important now as it was 10 years ago. It opens up a lot of doors. You absolutely have to do networking. Absolutely 1000%. At least understanding subnets and routing, basic routing. I think that's the big things. And DNS, God bless. I can't tell you how many people doing sysadmin work don't understand DNS. And I'm like, you gotta understand DNS. Whenever you have a networking issue, it's usually DNS related. So understand DNS. So important. So important. Okay. Yep. All right. 57 minutes in. Not a single line. Okay. We're going to write that code. Anyways. Mac util's going well. That's good. Did I miss it again? Oh yeah, Active Directory and DNS can be really problematic. Some people try and do DNS outside a Windows server with Active Directory set up, and that is always a recipe for disaster. I've had so many jank setups where I had to go in and fix. I'm like, guys, if you're going to use Active Directory with a DNS, you got to let Windows do it. I know you don't want to, but it does help. Oh, do you want me to set I bought to announce your streams in Discord? Oh, sure. Maybe Rux, I don't know if you have admin privileges. If you don't, let me know. We'll get you those. But I would probably prefer people to like opt in for it, to where if they want to get notified for the streams in Discord, they would need the live stream role. I don't want to ping people all the time for something they didn't ask for. So maybe like a special role, like live stream alert role or something. And then if they have that role, then they'll get pinged. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you don't, Calum has admin privs too. So you guys set it up. But yeah, that's how I would prefer it for everyone. Okay, let's see. Oh, what was this? Oh, we never did fix this, did we? Yeah. The carriage return for Omarky. How did I not fix that? I thought I fixed it. Let's come on to Linutil, get pull. Already up to date. We just got a new tag. Okay. What? Oh, it was just cargo lock. So when we do cargo run, one thing I saw that happens is, let's go sudo. Oh, not sudo cargo run. That's going to screw things up. But if you run as root and then run the binary, do we have a discontinue menu? Come on. Oh, before I forget, I just... One second. I want to do AFK screen for live streams. I wanted to try to do some kind of tasking system, so I was going to try that, see what I can do there. Yeah, I know, Grok, but I gotta use it. I haven't ever used it, and I was like, let's try this piece of crap. Where are we on this guy? All right. Got that. When I was gonna run, did we create a binary in here? Oh, we did. Okay. There it is. Oh God, there's so many files from Rust. So if you go into target, it's not under package. Well, actually, if you go into package, nah, not that. It'd be in debug. Yeah. So if you go sudo linutil, so this is root user, but we can't exit. So there's a bug for that, and I wanted to clean that up. Oh my God, Grok, is this true? I am running a local bot on the stream now, so people doing like follow age is a new one. So this is something I set up too. I don't like any bots on streams that I don't personally host. So follow age, I think is maybe it's follower age. Oh, we got ads. Huh. Oh, cool. My little overlay for ads is working. All right, let's try this. We got ads going anyways. All right, now follow age. All right, there we go. Now it should work. Oh, there we go. Nice. It works. I'm not following myself, apparently. Maybe. Good Lord. The spam. But yes, I just want to self-host everything so then I can maintain it all. I just don't like any services. I just think it should be better. Whew. That is cool. Dang. Look, my wife's been following me for 6 years, 24 days. Account age. Account age. Is that... Does it say? Let me see. I bet I can set that up real fast. No, I never did account age. Yeah. How long the account's been active. Oh. Wow. Almost 6 years. Dang. That's wild. Thanks, Odor. Oh. Well, there we go. So that bot is working well. Now, let's go into... Let's see. I swear I fixed this already. Did I not do a commit on the official? Sorry, this has been just... Everybody has a brain fart of a day. This is pretty much my day today. We're going to have to vibe us up a solution here. I thought I did. No, we have a recent commit. What was the last commit we did? Update version. That was on the last stream. Did I not do a commit on the inside? Okay. I'm going to take a quick break. 1 second. All right, let's go timer 10. Is it always... No. But it's all... Oh, there we go. All right. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to take a quick break, and I shall return. I'm going to run some ads while I'm gone. Oh, I did something kind of special too. Oh, I still gotta fix the slash commands. I'm actually back in time. Anyways, last night, I've also been working on, so, God, I have such ADD. I was also working on linutil. So I did an update to, one last night, it was like 2 nights ago. But on linutil, on the inside PC, I forgot to push my commits like an idiot. So anyways, while I took my break, I pulled down some changes. I forgot to build. Hopefully I did these changes correctly. I did. Looks like it works. So the thing here, if we do a run, all right, could. The thing that we were running into was the fact that when we do a sudo and we run the binary, right? We'd have this, but we couldn't exit. No more. I fixed it. So I kind of changed how this works, but the old method, it would capture the enter button from the float.rs instead of the running command. And I feel like that was the incorrect way of going about it. I kind of wanted everything to get checked for the key capture in the running command. So I changed that. Did it fix the omarchy enter problem? It did not. So I'm kind of still stuck on this. What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's open up code. Let's see what we got. Now, if we look at the last commits, this would be in the TUI that we run into the problem. So the float, we used to have a capture in here. So this time I changed that capture. This is the changes I made to where if running command is happening, great. But if there's like an actual, like you're running as root or just an informative message, it will actually go ahead and say, hey, is it enter or Q or escape? If so, then exit the actual window. So enter, Q, and escape all do the same thing, but it will only check for those commands if there is not already a running command. Because I want the running command to take precedent. Shit still didn't work though. Why? I don't know. So, why is that? So if we look at the running command, and we try to figure out why omarchy is not working. Oh, you changed it to Nemo. Nemo's, I think, a fork of Nautilus, actually. Or is that Cinnamon? Cinnamon's file manager is Nemo? It's like a weird, like Nautilus and Thunar had a baby. I liked it. Now, all right. We're doing the running command. Now the sudo terminal that gets opened, that's fine. But something is not getting passed. Specifically key commands when it's a nested script. So what ends up happening is Omarchy has a bunch of subscripts, and the primary script gets seen as finished, but the subscript that's run and that's open is getting stuck. Why? Why, oh why? It might be how we do the pseudo terminal too, so we might need to modify this. Much like in the macutil, we just do a redirect in the macutil, and I just got to rewrite that whole damn thing. The redirect's not going to work because I want to eventually make it to where people can just click on the app and not need to have terminal open. Oh yeah, we don't really have very many commands. I still haven't programmed that in. I'm getting to it though. Baby steps. It's all about iteration. Just slowly getting there, guys. Slowly getting the commands done. All right. I don't see anything. Let's ask Jippity. Not 4-1. 4-1's awful. Give me some Sonnet 4 goodness. All right. So let's see. When a script launches another script, another bash script outside of the linutil project, and it has user input, it is unable to redirect, unable to capture the enter key. Let's see what it says. The problem is the handle enter key method. Okay, let's see. The problem is the handle enter key method. When the command is still running, the user presses the enter key, the code uses this condition. The only handles enter key when the command is finished. However, if the command is still running and needs user like enter, the command doesn't match, so it falls through the pass-through case, which should work correctly. Let me check the handle pass-key event to see how it handles enter. I can see the pass-through method handles internet correctly by converting it to vec b with a new line character. This might be more subtle. Looking at the logic flow again, I think the problem is that when a command is running and the user presses enter, it should always be passed through to the running process. The current logic might not be handling it correctly in all cases. The issue is the enter key is handled in two different behaviors: when it's finished and when it's running. However, the correct code structure might have a race condition or a timing issue. Let me fix this by making the enter key more explicit. Now let me improve the handled passkey by correctly setting with proper flushing. We need to add a flush method import. Let me check current imports. Right trait is already imported, which includes the flush method. Let me check if there's any other compilation errors. Great. Now we need a more robust approach to ensure that the input is properly handled. Let me check if there might be an issue with the terminal buffer reading that could affect input handling. Let me improve the error handling in the reader thread to ensure we don't lose input due to read errors. Now let me add an additional import for better error handling. All right, let's see what all has changed here. So send key codes to virtual terminal. So this is just a debug. That's fine. So we're adding a read for the the import pass enter key to running command if for user input. So now we match this is the buffer. I don't quite understand what it's doing here. See if I can't make more sense of this. Check the build project. Okay. Well, let's see what we got with this section. Let's keep that. Let's do a check. It looks to be fine. Do a build. Also fine. So key improvements here. Inner key wasn't properly passed. Let's see if this fixes it. Explicit inner key handling. Add a specific case to ensure that when the command is still running, the inner key is explicitly passed through the running process, which is what we're a problem when we have a child process that script spawns that's outside of the project. This ensures the user input, especially inner key presses, are properly forwarded to external scripts waiting for input. Improve terminal writing with flushing. Enhance the pass-through key event method to include proper error handling and immediately flushing of the terminal writer. Added the writer flush after writing key codes to ensure that the input is immediately sent to the running process, which is crucial for interactive scripts. Better error handling in the reader thread. This should give us more output or more verbose output when we do have problems. And that should be it. Key changes made. We added this in inner key for handling this, the enter button. For the pass-through event, we added better debug capabilities or more output. And then in the reader thread, we did this match reader.read to handle a successful or unsuccessful read, where before we didn't have anything. All right, let's give it a whirl. What do we think? I know, crazy. I'm actually reading. Am I actually understanding something? I know. Okay, that seems to be working. So if we do alacrity, seems to be working. All right. I think we're ready to test the, let's do a full release here. Let's do the full commit. Fix inner key handling. Wait, what? Oh. I was too deep in the project. My bad. All right, now we're good. It's like, what? What are we doing? All right. Let's update our title. What are we? The 14th today. I think I'm actually gonna make this version in the 13th just in case I screw it up again. That way we have another iteration after this to try. You might be thinking, Titus, your versioning scheme's a little flawed. I know. It's too late to go back now. I guess we could start like with version 26 and then just go to a proper versioning scheme and just completely dumping this date format BS that I was trying to do. God, it was awful. Such an idiot. I can't believe I did that. Instead of starting with version 1, we start with version 26. Maybe. Yeah, I think we do. All right, we're going to go version 13. Add a B to it. Oh, so we could just go B, 13B or 12B. I know it's the 14th, but 13's lucky. Ah, man. Did Core have any versioning? I don't think Core did. I think it was all 2E. If we look at Linutil Core, this is the one. So we're going to go 13. One thing that's bothering me, this is not alphabetized. Why isn't this alphabetized? I know this is such a small thing. Just such a small gripe. But it's not alphabetized. I gotta have it alphabetized. Oh my god. Alright, let's take that. Watch someone that actually knows Rust go, Titus, what are you doing? You need to have them in a certain way so they load a certain way. Make this alpha. Oh, no, no. No, 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 nope, nope. That's, whoa. Dang. No, no, no. Cancel. Stop. Undo. No. Yes. Undo. My bad. Bad prompting on my part. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're going off the reservation here. Make this... No, no. We're just going to say alphabetize this. Okay. They can't screw that up. It'll understand. The one good thing AI is always pretty good at. Alphabetizing. Just making sure it's not like deleting anything. All right, cool. There we go. Now it's alphabetized. I don't know why that was bothering me, but it was bothering me. Sort with Invim? Ooh, we should have done that. Should we do a sort with Invim? All right, let's try it on Invim. Wrong file. Well, it was this one. So let's say we are a pro programmer and we want Invim. So let's go. Oh, wrong button. Oops, my bad. All right. Now we go colon sort. That didn't work. Did it? No, no, that worked. Correct. Yes, that's much better. VS Code also has sort lines ascending, by the way. So, pretty solid, right? All right, I'm going to remember the sort command. That's pretty cool. I like that. Just highlight what you want, colon, sort, done. Anyways. Let's just do a run real fast. All right, everything looks good there. Fix sorting. All right, gravy. So we're gonna first do the core. So we're gonna go cargo, publish, p, linutil underscore core. Yeah, I'm still working on my Vim motions. They're pretty pathetic. One of these days. One of these days. Alright, and then we're going to go with the TUI. All right, cool. I like all that. All right. Perfect. We get some pull requests too. What are the pull requests? Bug applications, minor bugs. What do we got? Libre woof for Debian. Force map. Oh. While we're here. Does not equal Ubuntu. Then do this. Oh, because Ubuntu won't work. But then, how are you going to install it in Ubuntu? Thought Ubuntu automatically converted the app to a sudo or to a snap. Could be wrong there. So you have your Libre Wolf right here. Okay. Just doing some cleanup. Telegram. Flat hub install if doesn't equal any of the other. Well, that's not a bad idea. And then clean up for the removal here. Removal of only office. Okay. Yeah, and then instead of doing beta, switching it to latest. I like all that. Oh. We got to change. Oh, this is happening in real time. Okay, well, we're going to let him finish working. let's not commit something that's getting changed in real time. Everything looks good here. We do got the check mark. Let's just do a release. We'll hit those other ones up in the next go around. No rush. Telegram, I think, recommends flat. Does people use Telegram still? I always wondered. I thought Telegram was just like exclusively used for scamming people. That's like all I know Telegram as. Scammers paradise. Widely used in Russia. Okay. I could see that. I mean, I like Telegram better than WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I think, is all over Europe. And here in the States, we just protect and love our telecommunications companies, so we do everything through SMS. How is that still a thing? Like, well, unless you work for the government, then you use Signal. a bit of a joke. Yeah, WhatsApp. Yeah. Ugh. Facebook. Old Marky Mark is behind the WhatsApp. The Zuck. Yeah, we're here in America. We finally got iOS to use RCS. I think, what, 60% of users in the United States use iPhone? What is the percentages? Let's ask Grok. Oh, it hurts. Let's just go auto. What percentage of US based consumers use iPhones compared to Android? Damn, I was almost spot on with those numbers. Look at that. 58% are iPhone users, 41% are Android users. Well, the more you know. WhatsApp messaging banned on all U.S. House of Representative devices. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Because, I mean, WhatsApp, you got to remember, is completely wide open. Facebook isn't exactly known for... It's either being too transparent, meaning it hands out all the data to everybody, or God knows what it's doing with our data. Especially, like, oh God, I always draw this comparison, but I remember yelling at people on Facebook in like 2013, 2014 for filling out those stupid commands, like find out who your favorite Power Ranger is by filling out all these questions. What's your favorite pet? What's your mother's maiden name? And I'm like, bro, these are all password connections. They're all questions to unlock your account. Oh, it's like the oldest trick in the book for social engineering. I'm like, God, people cannot be this stupid. And then proceedingly, like, all my family members start filling this out and posting it. I was like, social media was a mistake. Let's go back. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, WhatsApp got banned though. That's good though. You shouldn't be using WhatsApp if you're in a government role. That's just a bad idea. All right, sweet. UK government pretty runs on WhatsApp. Oh, God, that hurts. Well, I think there's one thing we can all agree on. At least all our governments are dysfunctional in one way or another. Have you been seeing all the breaches from Fortinet and SonicWall? I'm not really that surprised. How many times have these been sold? These companies have been sold so much. God, I remember Dell bought SonicWall. Like, SonicWall, when it first came out, was actually really awesome. It was like before the rise of Ubiquity and it being so good. I remember, I think it was like the TZ170 SonicWalls. I installed the crap out of those. I installed probably no less than 50 of them. And man, they were so good. I think there was like a NSA 240 model also I used, and they were great. Fortinet was around that same time, but I mean, this was 15. No, this is 20 years ago now. Yeah, this would have been 20 years ago, 2 decades ago. Damn. I feel old right now. Anyways, I remember installing these, and they were fantastic. The web GUI, were like, oh my God, there's a web GUI on the networking equipment. Look at all these different settings you can do. This is the future, man. And they were great pioneers for back in their day, but they've been sold off here and there. The brand's been tainted. I think Dell had them for like 5 years, and then Dell sold them, and I think now they're independently owned. Probably some VC or private equity probably acquired them and just running them directly into the ground with like one person actually pushing out some crappy update that's probably vibe coded. Sad. It's sad to see, but that's what you kind of get, you know. It's kind of crazy. I sent you a video of the Sony Trinitron CRT from 2000 and later. Oh man. I had a Sony Trinitron 21-inch. It broke my desk. I had a corner desk, and I set that thing up on there, and I was like, look at this monitor. Oh my God, it's just beautiful. And it was like 200 pounds. Oh my God. All right, I gotta see this. Hopefully nothing bad in my Discord here. Oh, cool. There's Rux. Oh, where'd you put it? Did you put it in the community? General? Nope. Where'd you put it, Rux? Oh, you didn't send it yet. Okay. Send it my way. Oh, man. I'd love to see that. Okay. Yeah, whenever you get a chance. Anyways. Did we finish with our release? That is the question. Good night. Been like trying to herd a cat over here with me today. I'm sorry, y'all. Just having one of them days. Okay. Okay. The release tag's actually not correct, but whatever. It's fine. God, I can't believe this release scheme I did. It's just awful. Delete. Edit. All right. Oh, oops. Ah, man. Did I delete that whole thing? Ah, damn it, I did. All right, well, we're going to have to just manually do it then. Damn, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, well. Oh, you got it. All right, let's see. I gotta see this Sony Trinitron. That just bring me back. Just make my day. Oh, see, I had the CRT monitor. This is the TV. Now, my brother had like a 35-inch Sony Trinitron TV. That thing was like 400 pounds. It took two people, and I swear I hurt my back. It's never been the same ever since moving it up. So we moved it to the third floor of his apartment. And I remember hauling that damn thing up. Oh, I hated that TV. But it had like this flat, it had a flat screen on it for a CRT. And it was like HD. It was like one of the very first HD TVs. God, it was awful. I mean, it looked good, but I mean, it was just like such an awful thing to move. It was ungodly heavy. So this is a 27-inch counterpart. He had, I swear it was like a 35-inch flat screen Sony Trinitron, and it was rough. Really great picture, though, for the day. All right, what do we got? That looks great. Now, let's... What did I label this stream? Building a new app again. Well, it's not entirely wrong. Check the Consumer Reports page at the top. Oh, okay. What do I got? I didn't even see the Consumer Reports. Do people still use Consumer Reports? I remember back in the day they used to be pretty reputable. But I don't know anymore. Oh, here we go. Archive.org. I'm glad archive.org's still around. Yeah, 32. Oh, there it is. Oh, no. Yeah, flat screen right here. Overall score. What it got on the top score? Top score was a Toshiba. Huh. Interesting. Philips of Magnavox. Oh, that's a name I hadn't heard in a minute. Zenith. Oh, yeah. They were cheap. That's cool. So cool. Who had the highest repair rates? ProScan, General Electric, RCA had the highest repair histories. It's kind of funny. Most Sanyo, Toshiba, Philips Magnavox, JVC, Hitachi, Panasonic, and probably Sony had the least on the repair side of things. Then it starts to really balloon up around Zenith, RCA, General Electric, ProScan. Makes sense. Those were like the cheapo options. I'm surprised Sanyo is so high up on the list for no repairs, though. I wonder what happened to them. Yeah, my cousin's like obsessed with like retro gaming. So he occasionally, I remember for a while there, he was like trying to hunt down like a really old CRT so you could do like duck hunt and some other things that you can't do on modern day. Also, he's like a huge speed runner too. So he's all about like the response times with CRTs. And he tells me all about it all the time. And he's like, oh God, it's just not quite the same. And I was like, oh, all right. All right, cool story, bro. But man, I tell you, hauling these big bastards anywhere was a freaking nightmare. You couldn't mount these on the wall. People would like build holes in their wall, reinforce it with concrete so you could put it in the wall. That's essentially what you did if you wanted to look really nice. Most people just toss it on a giant old, like, I got this table from my grandma, so it's all solid wood and it can hold the TV. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it get blasted fast. Alright, I think we're good. Let's launch the... Do I still have that going? Oh, I don't have that vert machine going. Let's go vert machine. Alright. I think... Minimal task. Let's go open... Alright, let's go Titus. Oh, there we go. Launch our dev branch. Let's go system setup, Arch, Omarice, yes. Then we do our update and install. I forgot, did it ever get stuck here? I think it just like didn't give us an output and it just took a little bit for it to work through it. Did see a couple errors there, but let's see, we'll know real fast. Still no love. Damn. Why? Why is it like that? Control C works. So at least we're able to exit properly. I wonder why it's like that. Well, shucks. Let's give it one more shot. Oh, yeah. AER's down probably was the errors we were getting iconic. I agree. But the thing was that we were testing was the enter key from that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go to running command. I'm pretty sure it's stuck in here because this is where we're running the command inside the floating window. It interacts with float.rs a little bit as well, but for the most part, it's something with how that all the redirection's happening. So, can we just download? Oh god, no. Nope. All right. Let's go here. So we got the running command. Let me think about this for a second. Let's find the actual file on here. We're going to go is into local share. We're going to go to Omarkey. Where are you at? Omarkey. And then in the install, we're going to look at, I want to say config login. I bet you it's that. Let's see. What do we have? Bet you it's doing a read. Let's do read dash R. No read. Read. You're not doing a read. Okay, so maybe this isn't the file. Maybe it's under config. Nope. Identification. Here we go. He's doing a gum input placeholder. Oh, this is probably what's causing the problem. It's using gum and it's not able to read inside of gum. So it's under the identification config is where it's getting stuck here. This makes much more sense of why. Let's go identification. All right. So what we're going to do, let's go back in history. Grab that. It is something with gum. Read, that is the problem. So it's getting stuck when a local script identification.sh is called. It is something with gum read that is the problem. Gum expects a fully interactive terminal with proper TTY handling. There might be issues with how the pseudo terminal is being set up with how input-output is being handled. Let me examine the issue more closely. The problem is that gum is a sophisticated TUI file that might need special terminal capabilities and environments to work properly in a pseudo terminal environment. Let me check if there's environment variables or something that I might be missing. The issue is gum requires... Okay, yep. Let me improve pseudo terminal setup and ensure it has better capabilities for interactive tools. Okay. I wonder why it's doing CMD environment and then also doing a script push. I guess it's setting those in the pseudo terminal and also the command environment. Is there any other additions that are being made here? Okay, both CR for carriage return. What's LF? So you have new line, but you also have \R, which is LF. I'm not familiar with that. List files, I think. Line feed. Ah, okay. Was not aware of that. I've always used \n for new line, so good to know. So just another compatibility. All right, let's try that. I feel like that's wrong, but seems to be built just fine. Oh god, now look at this. Sonnet's like, you know what? Let's try something different. Not feeling this. Don't feel like it's gonna do much. Let's see what else we got. What'd you go back and do? Ensure canonical mode and echo are enabled. Huh. I've never seen this command in my life. STTY canon echo. Canonical mode and echo. What is that? First time I've ever seen that command. Let's run it. I don't know what the hell that does. iCanon, fancy name. That's interesting. It's a valid command. Okay. I just want a little bit better understanding of what the hell this command is and why Sonnet wants to use it. Okay. Enables canonical mode and echoing for terminal input. In canonical mode, input is processed line by line, allowing editing before submission. Echoing displays typed characters on the screen. Wait, Apple owns Canon now? Interesting. I never knew this this existed. It's kind of a fun discovery, I guess. Will it actually work? Probably not. I don't hold up much hope here. So, let's see what we got. All right. Cool. Fix number 42 for fix yeah, I don't know. Yet another fix for enter redirection. Dude. It's that gum input that's just screwing us. Damn it. So, what does this look like? All right, let's go publish, cargo publish. P lin util underscore core. All right, let's publish core, and then we'll do the TUI. Do us another version. I know I hate making versions like this, but I don't know another great way to check it externally. Because it's only this one problem that I'm having. Inevitably, I'm probably just going to break the damn thing, and then nothing's going to work, but say lovey. It's the way it goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. Oh, hell. Actually, before we do a new release, let me grab that. No, let's grab that release real fast. Uh-huh. Dump. Don't. You can use Control A to increment in Vim. Oh, I didn't know that. That's a good little hotkey. Thank you, Mecha. My champ. It's a good little tidbit. Oh my gosh. All right, next build on the way. No, this is fun. I'll say that much. I will say Cargo is not a fast compiler. Understatement of the year. Oh my god. We're almost there. Just a little bit further. All right. Not yet, Rux. Not yet. Well, it kind of works. You can hit escape, and the escape actually works, but something with how Gum handles input. So on a child script, and how Gum handles this is the problem. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's rock and roll. That worked pretty quick that time. All right. Oh, yes. Victory! Victory is mine! Ah! You just had to STTY cannon it. Durr. God. Any noob knows that. Yes. Man. That feels good. We are in business. And actually, why I really kind of want to fix it, not just for Omarchy, but I really wanted a true representation of the terminal. So with pseudo terminal, sometimes you lose features. And by adding all this compatibility in, it's going to make so many other scripts work better as well. So now any other scripts using GUM will also work. Where before, if it launched into a subscript, we using GUM, hey. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I love it. It does seem more responsive too, so I don't know what happened. Did the AR come up or something? Either way, it seems to be working great. I will want to make one change to the Arch server setup though. It needs to be a little more explicit when it finishes with an output. I want it to be pretty explicit to say, hey, you must reboot your computer before trying to do stuff. Because I could see people doing the server setup and then immediately just starting to try and install other crap when it's in the live ISO. Which would not be good. I kind of want to make it idiot-proof. Most Linux users are going, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should make it as complex as possible. Root out the new people. Typically use Linux user logic. Should be as hard as possible. I suffered, so they should suffer. Hey, believe it or not, that is like a real thing in the Linux community. I remember some people were mad that I made the Linux utility. So they're like, oh, this makes it too simple. That's not good. It's not good to make things simple. I'm like, bro. Elitist much? Yeah, he wants an idiot's guide to Linux. We're working on it. We're getting there. We are getting there. I also kind of want to change one other thing about the Arch server setup. Right now it defaults to Linux LTS, which is a fantastic kernel and is very stable. But I kind of want to give an option for LTS, stock, just regular Linux, and then Linux Bazite bin, which I always usually end up going to the Bazite bin because I usually end up playing games on all my Linux installs. Yeah, I saw that, Rux. Jay didn't break Bazite. Windows partition on Jay's computer broke Bazite. Let's clarify. That was Windows' fault. It wasn't Jay's fault. It wasn't Linux's fault. It was Windows. They were the bad actor there. Now, the only thing I would say to Jay is anytime you dual boot, especially someone with the resources he has, 2 drives. 1 drive dedicated to Windows, 1 drive dedicated to Linux. That's the only guidance I would have given him to avoid that situation. Typically, as long as Windows has a Windows bootloader, boot MGR, it has that to write to, it's fine. It does its updates just okay, and it's not going to screw up your Linux. However, when you try to dual boot on a single drive and you have one EFI partition and Linux is that one EFI partition, Windows will see that and go, mine. I'm going to be a little greedy goblin. Nobody wants Linux. Linux is cancer. I shall delete it. And install Windows boot MGR over it. Greedy goblin. Microsoft. That's what it is. Yeah. I think Jay was using OneDrive. That's what got him. So, just learn from his mistake. And we all make these mistakes. I made that same mistake when I went to Linux. And I was like, oh, yeah, nah. All right. Learn my lesson. 2 drives, 1 Linux, 1 Windows. And I've never had a problem since. But you got to have that issue first before you learn about it, you know? Oh, he also did BetterFS. Oh, ouch. Yeah. BetterFS is great, but the setup can make things a little bit more cumbersome. He's pretty old school. I would have probably actually just told him to do like XFS or EXT4, and he probably would have had a little bit better time. It would have been way easier for him, because he's so used to like NFS partitions that he'd take to it like a fish to water. But he talks to Wendell, I think, pretty often as well. So Wendell could give him really good guidance as well. Yeah, Jim, I'm kind of right there with you. I'm a bit old school to where I just do AXT4 these days for the most part. BetterFS can be really nice for the snapshot capabilities. And like, let's say you need to switch back or do a restore. It can do it in like a split second. So if you're doing a lot of restores, it kind of makes sense to use BetterFS. However, I don't do a whole lot of restores, and I typically only screw up my system about like once every, probably 3 or 4 months. You guys probably could tell me. you all know how much I screw up my system. So, it's not that bad. At least Jay isn't Linus. Yeah. I'd be curious to see Linus trying it again too. You got to remember the points in time when it happened. When was the Linux challenge that LTT did? What year? It seems like it was a while back. Was that 2021? Because Bazite didn't exist when LTT tried it. Or 2022? I mean, Linux has come a long way in just that short period of time. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Boom. Yes, sir. Bam. We got us a solid working system now. Dang. I did not anticipate actually getting anything done today. I am way ahead of schedule. What is the tag? Yeah, tag's good. Tag's good. All right, we're going full blown latest release. Bam. Pushing it right to the masses. 11 minutes in. That's all the testing I need. We're going for it. All right, Linutil is up to date. We got us a MacUtil yesterday. We got us a new Linutil today with all the fixes. What's WinUtil looking like? I think we're gonna hold all PRs on WinUtil coming up. Because on WinUtil, I was talking to Drift User, Coding Wonders, and a lot of the contributors over there, and everybody's kind of in agreement. We want to do a full rewrite. So we're going to probably tear it down to the ground and redo it. So we might do a freeze on all PRs over here. mainly because how run spaces is currently designed, and no one really did run spaces, not nearly to the complexity and how big this has gotten. And now we're kind of like, man, maintaining it with run spaces kind of sucks. So we might take a big freeze, like maybe a multi-month break on WinUtil while the redesign happens, and then come back with a better system at the end of it. Because right now it's really kind of hard to debug WinUtil. With just debugging run spaces in general is just kind of a nightmare. So we have to kind of build all the tooling around it. It works, and it works well, but it's not very inviting for contributions because of the current structure. So I think we're going to do a full rewrite. We'll see what comes of it. Sometimes when you do a full refactor rewrite of a program, it comes out the other side just squeaky clean, everything's gravy. It's wonderful. Other times it just doesn't translate and it ends up not being as good. And then you're just like, well, we learned something, and then you toss the last month or two in the trash and move back to the old project. So it can go either way when you do these big changes. So it's a bit of a gamble in that regard. But you can always use the older versions, and we can always revert and then just keep maintaining as we always have, like this. But when someone gets, like, hey, let's rewrite, let's make it better, I'm like, let's go, let's see. Worst case, that happens. Doesn't work. We still have everything from Git. We still have all the old code. We could easily just revert back, or just do a brand new. We'll probably start it on like a new branch, and it'll probably be in a dev release for several months before the main branch gets up to date or gets merged back. So that's it. Dave Plummer's video on Windows Sandbox. Sandbox. Oh, I'll have to check it out. See how it goes. Could be a good one. The run spaces in PowerShell is almost like black magic, though. There's just very few examples out there that are in real projects. So there's just not a lot of code to look after. So it's almost, in a way it's good, but also in a way it's bad, where it's just nobody's really ever done it. So it's hard as we keep going forward. Every step we take, it's almost like a step into darkness in a lot of ways. Create a rewrite branch and add something like on top of the readme.mg. Something, I mean, we're going to be doing testing and everything off of the public branch. So we won't be pushing it live anytime soon. Run spaces essentially like is async in F#, Julian. So run spaces allows multiple uses of threads while doing a PowerShell script. So a lot of people don't realize in WinUtil right now, it's all designed in PowerShell. It's a script. It's not a program. It's a script. At the end of the day, the compile script creates a bigger script called winutil.ps1. That ps1 script is the entire program. It builds it out. It creates the XAML file on the fly, and then launches it all and creates it all from one script. So most people think of it as, hey, I'm installing this program on my computer, and I'm like, no. There is no installation, because at the end of the day, it's not a program, it's an actual script. So the script runs, it looks like a program, it feels like a program, but it's not a program. It's a script. It builds out an entire GUI, does everything live. It has essentially async, otherwise known as run spaces. And it does a lot of stuff that people can't even wrap their brains around, that this is just a PowerShell script. I've stopped telling people this because it confuses them. They just can't believe that this is not a full-blown compiled program. Yes, there's a compile script, but the compiled script just makes a bigger script. At the end of the day, it's just a script. Q, how do I uninstall WinUtil? Question, exactly. Yeah, there's so many questions, like, how do I uninstall this? You don't, because it never installed. I know. So yeah, it's just a big PlayStation 1 file. I'm gonna steal that one, Odor. That's a good one. So I love it though. I just love creating new stuff that nobody's ever seen before, or maybe just no one's ever tried. I'm like, let's do that. See if it can happen. And people are like, why? Why did you do that? Why did you make it in F# or .NET? Or why is this a PowerShell script and not just like everyone just does it in TypeScript and just puts it over here? And I'm like, yeah, that's just so boring though. I don't want to be normal. I don't want this to be just I don't know. I just want to have fun with something obscure, and if it makes a great program at the end, cool, but probably not. Let's be honest. Most times it's just complete shit. And then you're just like, okay, well, that was fun. Throw it in the trash, but you learn something along the way. That what's the old saying? It's not the destination, it's the journey. And man, I love the journey. I just like it. And for me, it's just that era of just like, let's do something different. And that's fun. And then steal it. I always do MIT on all my stuff. Like, people are like, you should use GPL licensing, so if someone steals your work, then they'll have to be forced to keep it open source and contribute back to the primary project. And I'm like, bro, I don't care that much. If someone wants to steal my work, that's cool too. I probably earned a couple, maybe a penny or two off of them in ad revenue. Because I probably watched my video to discover my work. So I'm like, I don't care. It's fine. It's fun. And that's all that matters. You don't have to make money off of everything. You should show people with images what's the difference between the free version of WinUtil and the paid version. There's really not much. There's no difference at the end of the day. The paid version is essentially just an executable, so you don't have to open PowerShell. But the executable, all it does is wrap PowerShell and launch it. So there's no difference, really. So if you're okay doing like an elevated PowerShell and then doing IRM, christitus.com/win, piping it to IEX, then it'll just going to execute. You're going to be fine. But let's say you're like, that's just black magic. I can't do that. I need a program. Here's $10, Titus. Give me an executable. Cool. I'll take your money. Here's your executable. I'm good either way. So I love that because, I think most computer people are totally okay with the PowerShell method. And that's free. And I get contributors from that. So it's a win-win for everybody. Even if someone did steal your GPL code, you'd have to go through the trouble of suing them. Yeah, it's really not that bad. You could probably do, like, a demand letter wouldn't cost me a dime. I could have an attorney write that up, send it over to somebody, and then it's not as bad as you think suing somebody. It's just, like, you really want to go through that process, and for what? Like, is someone really going to take my stuff and make millions of dollars off of it? Probably not. But if they do, I'm kind of impressed that they did. There's a part of me that's kind of like, well, that's kind of cool. I wish I thought of that before you did. But yeah, MIT licensing still affords me some protections, but not much. Not much. Most people can take all my code and have fun with it. Although there's certain projects I still reserve the rights to. There's certain ones where I have like all rights reserved, like the Link's book project, like someone mentioned earlier with Jay. This is actually not under MIT, so I didn't want someone taking all of this and just copy pasting it and then releasing their own book. So this is actually all rights reserved. Yes, it's open and anybody can read it, and it's completely free. But I reserve the right to sell a physical copy of this, and if someone copies all this and then tries to sell it themselves, I can sue you. So that's an example of it's open, but it's not open source. It's free, but you can't steal it. So this is a good example of when licensing comes into play and different methods. But most times it's either all rights reserved or MIT. I usually go either extremely restrictive, like you can't take it at all, or it's all open. So that's kind of my thought. You share your code, but that's communism. But yeah, I think those are all really good things. All right, let's drop off all YouTube. I think I'm good for the day. I might go for a walk, a little bit of a run. YouTube, see you later. I'm still working on the YouTube